Kane's actions in episode 8 leaves everyone in a sticky spot. From Drew being shot and almost killed, to Zeke being scared about his future and having to confide into Professor Milgram. From Officer Ramirez dying to Tariq not being able to sell product on the campus due to the fact Kane has heating it up for the most part all last episode. This is the episode 9 recap and review, and I'm here to break down the episode and also share my thoughts with you guys. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and also don't forget to tap that notification bell to never miss another upload, because all week I'm about to be dropping some fire for y'all. Some good power content. So let's get it, y'all. So to start off episode 9, Kane and Lil Guap, they're at this body shop and they're pretty much getting rid of the old members of the GTG crew. Kane, the ones he took out last episode, to get rid of them. Body parts are chopped up. You see heads, you see chopped up legs, arms. Like this is nasty, man. But like I was saying, they're getting rid of them, and Kane is just sitting there like laughing and smiling. And Lil Guap is looking at him like, damn, this dude laughing and smiling. Yeah, he's crazy. This dude's crazy. And to think of it, I wonder how Lil Guap feels, because it's just like, these are my boys. Like I kicked it with these people every day, and now these are their body parts. Like they're gone. And from this point, you can see that Kane's gonna be on this episode. So Zeke, he wakes up next to his boo Carrie, and he's pretty much telling her like, I like waking up next to you. I can get used to this. And she's pretty much saying like, this is like a one-time thing or whatnot. And are you gonna like tell me why you got the bruises on your body and stuff? And he doesn't want to talk about it. He pretty much let her know like, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to leave it at that. Like, it's nothing you can pretty much do for me. And she wants him to understand that you can trust me and all this other good stuff. So he goes in and he starts telling her about what happened, about how him and the other members from the team went to the club after the game, and he got jumped. And he was saying like, these people knew who I was. They want to take a picture back from my old hood, and they beat me up for the most part. And they almost shot my knee, and my career could have been injured. Like, my career could have been over. Like, no NBA for me. And she wants him. She pretty much tells him like, yo, like, you need to call the police, or you need to tell someone. He's like, do that and like snitch on them? Like, nah, I can't do that. Like, if they came once, me calling the police on people like that, yeah, they'll come again. And Carrie don't seem to understand that for the most part. And Zeke, he's scared. Like, he just like, nah, that's not gonna happen. And Zeke is pretty much telling her that this group goes by the name GTG, and he just letting her know some information, and she's taking all this information in, and we know what she's gonna do with the information. And she just wants Zeke to tell on him about it and go to the higher ups, and he's not willing to do that. Which brings in Laz Alonso, aka Sam Santana. So basically, he's in the lecture hall and he's talking to the professors about the murder that happened. And he's pretty much telling them like, this wasn't an accident. Like, this kid was dressed up in school colors, but he wasn't from here. On his hand, he had the letters GTG on him. And he pretty much set out and said, get that guap. And once he said that, Professor Milgram was like, GTG. So then he looked at her like, oh, are you familiar with this for the most part? And that's when everything that Zeke was telling her started running through her head. And she went in to tell her, like, she went in to tell him for the most part, like, I used to be a prosecutor and everything. And he went on to talk about how he wants to sit there and they want to talk to pretty much the black and brown students in the school. And the professors get kind of pissed off by it. It's like, that's not right. That's out of line, to be completely honest. And that's what he wants to do, though. So Professor Milgram, she was like, I could talk to some of the students, and because they'll trust me for the most part more before they trust to talk to a detective. And everybody knows, here goes Jabari. He has to be a part of everything. I really can't stand this dude, but he has to be a part of everything. And he's like, no, I'll help Professor Milgram do this, and we'll get to the bottom of it, and all this other good stuff. So back to Professor Milgram, she's been talking to Zeke, and the information that Zeke has been giving her, she goes to look it up like most people would. So she goes to look up this information, and she looks up Lorenzo and the head of the GTG crew, or she types in GTG, and it pops up why Lorenzo is in prison, how long his sentence is for, and like I said, what he is in prison for. And when it pops up, she's like, wow, for the most part. Um, this is why he's in jail. So she's starting to put the pieces together, and it's starting to make more sense on why this happened at the school for the most part. And in the picture, like she sees Monet in there, like, and she sees Lorenzo right there, and she's like, oh, so that's his aunt for sure. That's his uncle. Oh, he's around some dangerous people. So this causes Zeke to go back to his Aunt Monet's house, and he has a conversation with her. And he's pretty much telling her, like, I've been talking to Professor Milgram, and she's been trying to help me get through this for the most part and understand what's really going on. She says she can help. And he pretty much tells his Aunt Monet, like, maybe I should go tell them what I know, like the people at the school that's going to talk to the kids. And she's like, nah, you don't have to do that. Like, everything's going to be okay, and I'll take care of it for the most part. And Aunt Monet, this is what she does. She goes and pops up on Professor Milgram because she just knew, like, I saw from the get go that y'all was a little too close. And she pops up in the room and was like, she better not sit there and let anything go wrong with Zeke's, like, basketball career, or the first name out of her mouth is Professor Milgram, Carrie, for the most part. That, and because Monet knows they're sleeping together now, and she brings it up, and right when she brings it up, Carrie is just like, like, took a deep breath, and it was just like, wow, like, how'd she know? And Monet's not playing no games with her, because like we were saying before, Zeke is the meal ticket. Zeke is the only way out. If that drug stuff don't work out, Zeke is the one. Zeke is the one to get them to get through any and everything, and she can't let that go. So from last episode, we seen that after that killing of bars, Stansville has been hot. It's been hot this whole time, and Tariq is pretty much telling her, like, Stansville is hot since Kane, and she's like, don't mention Kane's name, and pretty much he's saying Stansville is hot. He can't sell any product on there, and and pretty much Monet is like, that app nobody knows about. You should be able to do this, get this done through the app. Obviously, we know Tariq, he withholds a lot of information, doesn't always tell the exact truth. So we know he didn't bring up to Monet that the app, he runs it with Brayden, and Brayden is not working with him right now. Brayden's pissed off at him. So Tariq, he gonna have to make up with Brayden for the most part. So Brayden and Tariq, they go down to Yale to start selling, to get meet up with Effie. They got to sell product. They got to get the product sold. And like I was saying before, Stansville is hot, so it can't be sold there. So they meet up with Effie down at Yale, and they try to get this stuff. They try to get this stuff sold. But on the walk, Brayden and Tariq were having, Tariq is pretty much telling them, like, yo, like, this is the real reason. He's laying out the truth to Brayden now. Finally, he's like, this is the real reason why I did what I did with Effie. This is why what happened with Riley happened, and he told her the truth about who Riley was and why he felt like she was there. And I feel like at that point they're gonna start building some more trust back between those two. Like, they're gonna get stuff figured out, because I mean they boys, man. Like, boys that they get mad at each other at some point, but they always seem to, you know, bring it back in, reel it back in, and be together at the end of the day. And that's all that matters. Now Tariq and Effie, they meet up and they're having a conversation for the most part. And Tariq is telling her why, like, he didn't ditch her the last time, like, what happened when they were at Stansville. He told her what happened, and she's like, man, you lied too much. I don't know whether I could believe you or not. And Tariq is pretty much telling her, like, yo, like, you the only person that understands me, and, like, I'm in a tough spot. I'm not a monster, but what my mom wants me to do, it is gonna make me, like, look like a monster, and I'm not a monster for the most part. And she's just telling him, like, I accepted that the fact that I was a monster when I did what I did to you at Choate, and so you need to accept that you're a monster as well. Like, we both monsters. Which brings us to Drew and Monet. Like, they're having a conversation, and Drew mentions Kane's name. Cause he's like, this would be easier if, you know, we had Kane, because he's the one who usually does this. And Monet's like, shuts him down. Like, we don't bring up that name. Like, he's dead to me for the most part. And what this makes Drew, he pulls up on Kane. And when he pulls up on Kane, he sees that Lil Guap is still alive. He sees that Kane has all their corner boys working for him now. Like, he took him away from Monet. And Kane is pretty much letting Drew know, like, I'm running the streets. Like, mom wants to mess with Tariq. I'm gonna take over the streets and I'm gonna do stuff my way. And it's either you with me or against me. Now, Lil Guap got the shipment, and this is not the shipment that Kane is thinking. Kane's thinking that they're getting their own little thing, and from what he sees that this is Monet's product. So when Lil Guap walks in the door, he pretty much like holds him up, like hems him up, and like, yo, you stealing from my mom's? And like, nah, like Rico gave me this, and Kane starts to put two and two together, like, oh, if Rico is giving you this, that means he's trying to cut all ties with Monet, with mom for the most part. So Kane knows what this is. Like, they got them straps up now, so now it's time to get busy. So my boy Esquire, no, I'm just playing. Rico, that's Jackie Long, man. We all kind of had a feeling that this would be him, but we just had to wait to put a face to a name. But for the most part, him and his boys, they strapped up. They coming to get Monet and them. And while that's going on, Tariq is pretty much telling Monet, like, all right, I used the money to help my mom's out. And my mom comes first for the most part. And I'm sure you understand that. We know what Tariq used the money for. When he said he had to help out his mom, that was to get the witness out of the area for the most part, which is Epiphany. Epiphany is the witness that was supposed to be taking a stand for Cooper Sacks. And when Tariq went to her place, his one like move and one thing he's supposed to make sure he got done was to treat her like he treated Slim. And pretty much he supposed to kill her, supposed to offer. But when he got there and she was sitting there saying certain stuff, and boom, she ended up saying, yeah, like, if I had the money, I would just run. And he thought about it. He didn't want to really kill her. That's why he was telling Effie about it. He was like, my mom wants me to do something, but I don't want to do it because I'm not a monster. So, like, we know Tariq didn't want to kill her, and we knew he wasn't about to catch a body in this episode anyways. But so he didn't want to kill her, like I was saying. So he gave her the money and got her up out of there. And that was good enough for him. Job well done, taken care of. So back to Tariq and Monet. Monet pulls a gun out on Tariq. After Tariq tells her that he doesn't have his money. He used her money to help out his mom. And his mom comes first. And like I said, she should understand that. And when he tells that to her, like I said, she pulls the gun out on him. And she tells him, like, you know what happened to people who mess with my money for the most part. And Tariq was telling her, like, yo, I understand the consequences and I won't accept it. I know what I got myself into. And he then has a flashback. And he's pretty much saying, like, everybody who cared about me and who loved me, I hurt. And I screw over. Like, I'm a damaged person. And like I said, in his flashback, he starts going through people that he hurt, which was his sister, like Tommy, Kanan, even his dad. And we all knew at some point he would feel some way about how the situation with him and Ghost turned out to be. And he was like, yo, my dad seen this. I even heard my dad, and he seen this coming, but by the time he seen it coming, it was too late. And when they heard that, she's like, too late. And she was just looking at him like, what you mean too late? I personally feel like Monet caught on to what Tariq was saying, ASAP actually, and that she kind of got that he killed his dad. And she's looking at him different now because, I mean, if somebody who can kill their own father or even a family member is not to be taken lightly. But then Rico pulls up, him and his boys, and them straps go off. And they got machine guns, like, not them baby guns, them real machine guns. And they let the whole place have it for the most part. They blasting everything, and everybody's laying down and sitting down, and nobody's moving. And then all of a sudden, Captain Hero, Drew, wants to get up and like, I'm going to get my piece. So as soon as he gets up, we all know what happened. Pop, pop, Drew got hit, and he was out. And Monet, like, after everything was done, Monet got up and was like, Drew, don't be doing this to me. Like, don't do this to me. Because she thinks he about to die. And to be honest, when I seen the scene, I'm like, yeah, he dead. He definitely gone. Kane shows up just a little bit too late. But when he gets there, Monet pretty much pulls the gun out to his head and like, yo, get Drew into the car now. And she's pretty much saying, like, this is your fault. Like, all this is your fault. And even Diana, she's saying the same thing. Like, this is your fault. She smacks Kane and like, this is your fault. This happened because you left. And Rico knows that you left, and this is why this happened. And Kane is just in his feelings. And he like, this is not my fault. And he's pretty much telling Monet, like, this is not my fault. And Monet's like, yo, you need to run. You need to get out my face and get somewhere fast before I put you down myself. And Kane is telling her pretty much like, you made me this way. This is the person you made me, and now you don't want to accept me. So Kane, he's broken from every which way, like heartbroken, and he's like his moms don't want him, like his family don't want him, and they shunning him out. And we all know this is about to make Kane turn up completely. And I feel him though. I feel like Monet should take blame for or at least partial blame for who Kane is and what he has become, because she made him to this demon monster, and now she don't want to accept it. So this causes Kane to go meet up with Officer Ramirez, and he pretty much tell him like, "Yo, what happened to you? You disappeared on me, and we were supposed to take out Tariq." And Ramirez is pretty much telling Kane like, "That's all on you. You take out Tariq. Like Monet, ever since like you been gone, and now with Drew being shot, she gonna need me more than ever." And he pretty much calling Kane like stupid and stuff, and like, I should have listened to Monet. Like, you would never be able to understand this. Blah blah blah. So Kane, he turns up on him. He turns around and turns back around and pops him, like punches him right in the face. He's laid out, and Ramirez is trying to beg for his life, and then Kane takes him out, clips him up, and turns it up on him. And we could have seen this coming because Officer Ramirez, he started talking like real greasy at the mouth, and he had no reason to for the most part. He could have sat there and told him why he went missing, or why he didn't help out with Tariq, and left it at that. But he started belittling Kane, and Kane's already not in the right state of mind in the first place because, like I said, his family's pushing him out. So Ramirez caught what was coming. So back to Tashas Case. Paula, she's not working with McLean no more. So she goes and meets up with Tariq and lets him know what he should be looking forward to. Like, he getting subpoenaed. He got to show up to court. And she pretty much tell him that they were working together. And this catches Tariq by surprise. So next thing he has to do, he has to go get a lawyer. And lo and behold, he hooks up with Tamika. And he lets her know, like, yo, I need you to represent me. They're calling me up to the court, to the stand. And Tamika was like, yo, give me $1 for the most part. He gave her $1. And she's like, now I'm representing you. Now tell me, did you kill your father? And Tariq said, yeah, he killed him. Yeah, he shot him. And he was pretty much telling Tamika, like, I did it not because I'm a monster, but because he's a monster. And Tamika said, I know. And I personally think Tariq's not going to jail. Like, this show is based around Tariq, so I don't really put that into mind that Tariq is going to actually be locked up. I think that him and Tamika, they're going to come up with a good plan to take down Cooper Sacks and when it all ends. And I think they'll actually get this to be all pinned on him at some point where Tariq and Tasha can walk freely. But I appreciate you guys sticking through the video with me and all the love and support you guys been giving me as of late. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to tap that notification bell to always receive more uploads ASAP so you won't miss out on them. Like I said again, thank you guys again for all the love and support. And make sure to stay tuned because I'll be dropping more videos throughout the week. Actually, every day of the week, I'll be dropping another video. Different storylines. We're going to break them down and we're going to get to it, y'all. I appreciate you guys. I'm out of here. Peace.